Hi, welcome to Learning English with Prose. This is the channel where we draw on many years of university experience to provide you with reliable information on the English language and handy hints on how to improve your English. Hi, there are lots of websites, podcasts and so on out there on idioms and the idiomatic use of English, so you might justifiably wonder why another one. Well, there are three unique features, I think, which set this series apart from other materials on idioms. The first feature is that we focus exclusively on idioms that non-native speakers of English can reuse in their own conversations and small talk or in their own writing. Now, as you may have noticed, the dictionaries or other sources on the web tend to give too much emphasis to both traditional English idioms like spill the beans or to journalistic coinages like stem the tide. Now, the thing about traditional idioms like spill the beans is that they're rarely used in everyday conversation by native speakers themselves. And so it's difficult for foreigners to slot them into their conversations in a way that sounds natural. As for journalistic coinages, again, it's hard to think of a situation where a foreign learner might make sensible use of a phrase like stem the tide. It's not the kind of phrase you'd use in conversation, and you can't use it in academic text either, because you might be accused of using tendentious language, in this case language that's perhaps suggestive of a rather negative attitude towards immigrants. So we're going to exclude from consideration all these traditional, somewhat infrequent idioms, and we're going to focus on the real language used in everyday conversation and academic texts, because these are the two genres, I think, that non-native speakers usually need to master. So that's the first feature, focus on idioms that native speakers really use and that are useful for non-native speakers. The second feature is that we can draw on the largest collections of spoken and academic English ever compiled, so that we can provide you with the most frequent and the most prototypical examples of the use of a word or phrase. So just by way of comparison, one of the best known dictionaries of idioms, I'm not going to say which, is based on a mixed corpus of around 450 million words, whereas our spoken corpus alone comprises 500 million words. Our third unique selling point is that we provide you with the typical word partners that a phrase teams up with. We'll see what this means and how this works in a minute. Finally, I should say, there's an additional feature for speakers of German or French. We'll try to translate idioms into these languages wherever possible. So this is the typical format we're going to use to present information on idiomatic language use. This is about the idiom find your feet. At the top of the slide, you find information on the style level, what kind of genres, what kind of register this particular idiom might be used in. Actually, find your feet is quite neutral. You might find it in a newspaper text. You might want to use it in conversation. It might even occur in academic texts. Then we provide a few examples, usually three. I'm still finding my feet, I guess. It will take them some time to understand the place to find their feet, and during that time, the government will be able to do what it likes. He's just beginning to find his feet in his new job. We try to aim for examples here that are sort of self-explanatory, that will help you guess the meaning of the idiom from the examples alone. But we also provide a definition. So find your feet means something like to become confident, to develop confidence and find a sense of balance when you're new to a situation, new to a particular environment. So in French, this might be translated as s'adapter, and in German we could say Fuß fassen, sich einfinden, sich zurechtfinden. So this is the second slide, which will usually give you information on the typical word partners that a word or phrase teams up with, the players, you might say, that surround a word. And we can see that on the left-hand side, we have a circle indicating that find one's feet usually has someone, a person, as its subject. On the right-hand side, we have a circle indicating that we may optionally use a prepositional phrase with find one's feet. So we can say he found his feet in his new environment, he found his feet in a new role as a coach, for instance. But this is not obligatory, it's an optional complement, and that's indicated by the brackets here. At the top, we have the verb struggle, which is often used with an infinitive. So we'd find things like he's struggling to find his feet. And at the bottom, we have the progressive forms of the verb start and begin. These also often occur with find one's feet. So you'll hear things like I'm starting to find my feet. We hope that this is a succinct way of presenting the most important lexicosyntactic information, you might say, on words and phrases, and we'll hope that you'll find this useful. Thank you for watching.